Okay, today we're going to use a PIWIS to adjust the tire pressure monitoring limits on a 2007 Porsche 997 Turbo. I've borrowed my friend's PIWIS II machine, and I just want to show you the instructions on how to do this. It should work for all 997s, maybe also similar Boxsters and Caymans. Using the PIWIS, fire it up, connect all the cables, launch the diagnostics for your appropriate model. Mine's 997. I'm doing this in real time. It will be kind of boring, so apologies, but hopefully you can follow along, maybe even show the dealer how to do this, because it's kind of buried deep. Now, what my buddy told me is that if you do that, you're going to get all the control modules, but if you actually want to code the control modules, the way to code the control modules is to actually go to this additional menu at the bottom, F7 first. I haven't verified that, so you might be able to skip a bunch of these steps, and so I'll tell you when you kind of get back to this menu, but let's do it the way he showed me how to do it. So additional menu. Create a VAL. That appears to be just kind of like a scan of all your records. We're not going to do that, so we're going to skip it. It takes time. So that's probably the one time we hit the no button here in this sequence, or F11. All right, it does a bunch of stuff, and so for the next minute or two here, bear with me, because what it's going to do, and I apologize for the focus, is it's going to basically just ask you, this is the key thing. This screen comes up and it asks you to do vehicle handover. What my buddy told me is you want to do vehicle handover, and again, hit that button in the lower right, or F12, which is the next button. Now that you're initializing vehicle handover, it will go through a whole bunch of stuff that you basically have to just keep saying next using that button in the lower right. Again, apologies for the video quality. It's going to do a whole bunch of screens, and generally speaking, I think there's one screen you got to do something different, but most of them you just got to hit next. Wake up. The wake up one is the one that you have to do something different on. You have to hit this F8 execute button. Registry present encoded, internal lock coded, analyzing most control unit list. Apologies, you probably can't read that. It's out of focus. Actual control unit list unequal to required control unit list. Start most system tests. Next, I did that. Reading out actual installed components list. Please wait. Again, I'm reading this for you because it's out of focus. Remove top speed limit and new vehicle flag. Next. Deactivate radio. Deactivate radio diagnosis gateway. Next. Code rear. Next. Set tank correction value. Next. Vehicle handover. Is this a new vehicle? Okay, on this one, you're going to do no. It's not a new vehicle. And then it's going to ask you about your VIN, and it asks you it twice. Is the chassis number correct? And then it says confirm that it's correct again. So you hit yes twice. And then it says, let's see here. Switch to log management by pressing F12, so keep doing next. And then now we're getting down to it. You're going to get this screen of logs, and it's got different logs that it's made of other prior work on the car. Now you hit back. You hit the end of the road. You can't go next anymore. So then you go back. When you go back, you're going to get a list of all of the modules. Scroll down a little bit. Instrument cluster, and tap it and select it in blue is the one that you need, and you hit next. Yeah, the instrument cluster is actually what hangs on to the values that alert for the TPMS, not the TPMS, not the gateway. It's actually a little confusing. Okay, now that the cluster module is selected, you're going to do coding adaptations. It'll think on that for a little bit, and then it's going to pull up a list. The one you want is the top one, general codes, and you hit next. And lo and behold, you're going to get two options, other and TPM. I haven't looked at other. I'm just going to do TPM because that's what we want, tire pressure monitoring. And then it's going to give you this screen with a lot of options, coding values. Highlight all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and use your scroll bar to pull down. 10. There's 10 of them. Do next. Okay, this is the money screen that's going to come up. This is where all the magic happens in terms of enabling new low pressure or lower pressure settings on your TPMS. So what you're going to want to do is you'll probably have no's in the values for menu selection, special summer and special winter tires. You're just going to tap on those. You're going to move the no to the yes. Then what you're going to want to do is you're going to put in a special text to name it. I liked the moniker low space press space. That's 10 characters. It has to be 10 characters. So LOW space PRESS space. I did that 2 times. Then what I also did was for each of them, for summer and winter, and I'll show you why you do this, you enter in the bar. I ran some pressures. I'll show you what it works out to on mine, but I used 2.3 bar and 1.9 bar for rear and front respectively. And for the menu selection on both of them, set it for as displayed. If you make these changes in PIWIS, it'll come up with a little sign here that it needs to be saved. If you get a little chip mark or the words don't hold, you need to readdress that character. It doesn't like what you inputted, but it should all be, I think it's all a pencil here. Let me just show you. Let's just do it. If I change this back to no, yeah, you get a pencil. So anyway, that's what it looks like. After you've done all those things, if you're ready to upload it, there's this write button down here. You would just push that F8 write button and it will, boom, write it to your screen. So now I'm going to show you what it looks like on the screen. When I first did it, I didn't realize that it had actually worked, but if you go to your tire pressure monitoring and you want to change your tires, go to set, push forward, and you got 2 options, and I was like, oh man, I was expecting at least 1 or 2 more options. The option is now buried under summer tires and winter tires. When you press forward to select summer tires, it says, you want it? Yes, you continue. And now it gives you a new option, low press, which you had put in. Just for the sake of illustration, I'm going to show you what the factory setting is on 19-inch. And I continue. It says process complete. If I scroll back up, I can go to info on pressures, and you'll see that the factory 19-inch summer tire pressure is 3339. And also what you're going to see is that is on the partial load setting. If I go to the full load setting, oops, let's do that again. If I go to the full load setting and reselect it, it bumps it up to 3643 once you have your tires more pumped up for a full load car. That all makes sense. Now, did my setting work? If I go back to set the tire, summer tires, continue, low pressure setting, continue, process complete, go back up, check the pressures under info pressure. 27 and 33 is my new setting. I was previously at 33 and 39, so each of them was reduced by 6 psi, which honestly that's probably about perfect for what I want. If you don't like that, there's actually an interim setting which I figured out, which is you can basically then just change your load, put it on full load. Let's do it full load, exit, back to info pressures, and lo and behold, it adds back 3 psi to each of those amounts that I had previously. So that ought to give you a pretty good range that lets you kind of set your threshold for where you want the alarm to go off. It's a clumsy system, but that's how you make it work. And I now have that option also under winter tires, low pressure selected, continue, process complete. I can check that. I go to info pressures 2733. Same thing works with load, full load, exit, boom, 3037. So there you go. That's how you do it, using the factory PIWIS II to add some additional settings into your TPMS to make it less irritating. Hope that helps somebody out. And then obviously when you're done, you can hit end on the PIWIS. It asks you to terminate application, yes, and that will completely shut it down. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Good luck and stay safe.